Hello, Otters. Today for math, we are going to move on from multiplication of fractions and start dividing fractions. So let me show you how to get started with a problem here. I'm going to start with a problem of 1/3 divided by 5/6. So when we do a problem like this, we have to do something in particular with the second number here, the one that's dividing. So what we're going to do is we keep the 1/3 the same. And remember, multiplication and division are like opposites of each other, just like addition and subtraction. So what we're going to do is we keep this 1/3 the same, then we multiply by the opposite of this number here. So we're going to flip it to 6/5. This number right here, the 6/5 that we've switched from the 5/6, is called the reciprocal. Let me write that down for you so you can see it. Reciprocal. And I'm writing it down so that you see it, because it's a word I'll use throughout this presentation, and so I want you to become familiar with that, okay? So this number right here, the 6/5 that we switched from the 5/6, is called the reciprocal, and we're doing this because division and multiplication are like opposite of each other, and so we're switching this from a division problem to a multiplication by multiplying now by this reciprocal. So now, just like we've done in the past with multiplication, we multiply straight across, numerator times numerator and denominator times denominator. So 1 times 6 is 6, and 3 times 5 is 15. Now, just like with any of our other problems, we always have to look to see, can I reduce or do anything further? And I see that I can divide both of these by 3. And 6 divided by 3 is 2, and 15 divided by 3 is 5. So the answer to 1/3 divided by 5/6 is 1/2. So that is my final answer there. All right, let's move on to another page and we'll try some more. Let's go with 2/3 divided by 5/8. All right, remember our first step, we keep this 2/3 the same, but now instead of dividing, we're going to switch this to a multiplication problem by changing this number here, this fraction here, to its reciprocal down here. So that would look like 8/5. And it is important to remember, Otters, that when you're flipping a number here to switch from a division problem to a multiplication problem, it's really important to remember that you always use this number and not this number. This is the one that you flip to the reciprocal, okay? So now I will go through here and I will do my steps for multiplication. Numerator times numerator, 2 times 8 is 16 over 3 times 5 is 15. So now when I look at this, it does not look like I can reduce. However, it is an improper fraction, so I'm going to solve this. How many times does 15 go into 16? It goes in 1 time, and that would 1 times 15 is 15, so I would have 1 left over. So my final answer would be 1 and 1/15. And remember, this number right here that I flipped is called the reciprocal. All right, let's try another one. Let's do 4/6 divided by 7/8. 4/6 divided by 7/8. All right, so first step again, we leave that first number, that first fraction the same. So I'm going to keep my 4/6 here, and then I'm going to multiply by the reciprocal. So I take 7/8 and I change it to 8/7, and then I multiply across. 4 times 8 is 32, over 6 times 7 is 42. And now I know from looking at this, I can see that they're both even. So right away I'm thinking I want to divide both of those by 2 to reduce. And then I'll see if I can go any further. So 32 divided by 2 is 16. And 42 divided by 2 is 21. And there is nothing else that, no other factors that are in common for 16 and 21. So that would be my final answer there. All right, I'm going to do one more example and then we'll go through, like we did the other day, go through some problems where I'll give you some time to try them on your own before giving you some Apply My Learning problems. So let's go with 9/10 divided by 5/7. All right, first step is we keep that 9/10 the same, but now we're going to multiply that by its reciprocal. So 5/7, the reciprocal would be 7/5. So I multiply straight across and I get 9 times 7 is 63 for my numerator, and 10 times 5 is 50. I can see that that is an improper fraction, so I want to look at how many times does 50 go into 63? And I know it can only go in there once. 1 times 50 is 50, so that would leave me 13 left over to get to 63 over 50. And when I look here to see if I can reduce, I know that 13 is a prime number, which doesn't automatically mean we can't reduce it, but what that means is I have to see if 13 goes into 50, and it does not. So my final answer would be 1 and 13/50. All right, now I'm going to go to a new page and I'm going to give you a few problems to try on your own, where you'll get a chance to pause the video, try it, and then come back and check and see if you got the same answer as me. So let's start with 6/7 divided by 1/6. All right, adders, at this point, pause your video, try working this problem out in your notebook, and then when you're done, come back and check and watch my work to see if you got the right answer. All right, here we go. Let's check your work. Right now I'm going to leave my 6/7 the same. I'm going to multiply instead by the reciprocal of 1/6, which would be 6 over 1. I multiply 6 times 6 is 36, over 7 times 1 is 7. Because that is an improper fraction, I want to know how many times does 7 go into 36. I know that goes in there 5 times. 7 times 5 is 35. So I have 1 left over. So final answer would be 5 1/7. I hope you're doing okay so far on these. Let's try another one. All right, next problem. Let's do 9/10 divided by 2/4. All right, at this point, pause the video, try this problem on your own, and then come back and check and see with my work how you did. All right, hopefully that one worked out for you. Let's see. 9/10, I keep that the same. And now I multiply by the reciprocal of 2/4, which would be 4 over 2. And now I multiply. 9 times 4 is 36. Over 10 times 2 is 20. Now you have a choice here. You can either reduce first, or you can change into a mixed number. I'm choosing to reduce first, but you'll get the same answer no matter which way you do first. So I am going to divide both of those by 4. 36 divided by 4 is 9, and 20 divided by 4 is 5. And now I want to take that improper fraction and change it into a mixed number. 5 goes into 9 one time. 5 times 1 is 5. So that would give me 4 left over over 5. So final answer is 1 4/5. Hope you're still doing okay on these. Let's do let's see, one more problem I think would be okay before I give you some apply my learning problems. All right, here we go. Next one is 2/6 divided by 2/3. Okay, pause your video, try this one on your own, and then come back to check your work with mine. All right, here we go. 2/6. We're going to change this to multiply by the reciprocal. So that would be 2/3. The reciprocal would be 3/2. So now when I multiply straight across, I get 2 times 3, which is 6, over 6 times 2 is 12. I see that's not an improper fraction, so my next step is just to reduce. So I can divide both of those by 6. 6 divided by 6 is 1, and 12 divided by 6 is 2. So final answer would be 1/2. All right, I hope you did well on those problems. I am going to now write down your apply my learning problems for you. And then you can work on those in your notebook and take a picture to submit in Canvas. All right, Otters, here are your 5 apply my learning problems. Forgot to write that on there. You can either take a screenshot of these, or you can write these down in your notebook to work out. Don't forget to take a picture of this when you're done to submit in Canvas. Also, some tips to remember when you're doing this. Don't forget that the second number here is always the one that has to be flipped for the reciprocal. And don't forget to check and see if it can be reduced at the very end. And also, if it's improper, make sure that you're converting it into a mixed number. So I hope you're doing okay on these problems. Just send me a message if you need any help. Otherwise, I will talk to you later.